Alright, so we were back, of course, talking about some Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core for once. That's a bit strange. We don't often talk about this game. What we're looking at today is a bit older, but I just came across it from a very recent PC Gamer article about a fan-made remaster, essentially, of Crisis Core. Now, as I said, this is a bit older. The forum post that this article links to goes back to like June or so of this year, about 6 months ago. And this is a subject that has always fascinated me. I don't understand it because the fan demand for a Crisis Core, like, HD port or remaster or something like that has been out there for a long time. It's something people have wanted for a very long time, and Square Enix just kind of hasn't ever wanted to do it for some reason. I've talked about this before in the past on this channel with Bethesda, for example, with Oblivion and Morrowind and Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas. Like, the Bethesda community, a lot of the players want to give them their money. Like, please, for the love of God, re-release this game with a better look to it, and I will give you my money again. I'll buy the game again for the 5th time or some shit. And Bethesda just refuses to do it. And I just don't understand that because it's such an easy way for them as a company to make money. Now, by no means am I saying that, doing an HD port of a game or, overall remastering a game is easy by a technical level. But what I mean is it's easier to, let's say, remaster Fallout 3 than it would be to make a Fallout 5, right? There's a lot more effort and time and resources that it's going to go into building a game from the ground up as opposed to just porting a game in better, quality or something. That's why it's a subject that's always just kind of fascinated me, man. Like, you can't tell me a company as big as Square Enix can't put, like, a team of guys together, a handful of guys off to the side, maybe some up-and-coming developers that they want to test out, take them to the side, let them work on a Crisis Core remaster. Like, why isn't that a thing? How hard is that, man? It's such an easy way to print money for them. And it's good PR and good, brownie points, so to speak, with the community, because it's something the community's wanted for a very long time. You released something with like Final Fantasy VIII Remaster. That's something the fans wanted for so goddamn long. They eventually did it, but god, how long did that take? Now, I don't know the exact time frame for how long people have been asking for a Crisis Core remaster or something like that, but it's got to be at least since they started doing like the older Final Fantasies, like 7 and 9, and eventually 8, of course. So I imagine sometime around when those HD ports started happening, that's when people were probably like, man, it'd be kind of cool to get a, remaster of Crisis Core. What's crazy too is we've seen them already do this with Type 0, right? Type 0 HD was initially a PSP game, and it came out on, modern consoles. And it's just like, was anybody even asking for that? Like, I don't necessarily think I've ever heard anything bad about Type 0, but I've never heard, like, overwhelmingly positive things either necessarily. But I can't imagine there's a bigger fan demand for Type 0 getting a remaster on consoles than there would be for, say, a Crisis Core. Now, it's a bit of a different situation because Type 0 was initially a Japan-only game, so there's definitely got to be fan demand for that to get released in the West and stuff like that. But again, the point of all this is that we've seen them port a PSP game to consoles, so why haven't they done it for Crisis Core yet? It just doesn't make any damn sense. So when the studio and the devs don't do what the fans ask for, the community eventually takes it into their own hands, which is what we have today. We have the FF7, Crisis Core community doing the remaster of their damn selves. So here's a quick side-by-side comparison of what you can see. Like, this is a legitimate overhaul of the game. I forgot how bad Crisis Core looks at times. Like, for its time, it's fantastic, and the cinematics are still, like, great to this day. They hold up very well. But as you can see right here on the left, like, the game, man, certain parts of it are just looking awful. But on the right, it looks fantastic. You can read that sign entirely. Also, some cool stuff that they mentioned if you read over like the forum post that I'll have linked below. Things like Zack's shoulder pads are meant to be a brown color, but in-game they look black. So they kind of overhauled that to make them more what they're supposed to look like. The dumb apples in the game are supposed to look more like indigo apples, but within the game they're like a really blobby blue color. Like, they changed that to what it's supposed to look like. They actually, as he says, like, makes it more canon, so to speak. Here's another quick side-by-side comparison just to kind of give you the idea of how much effort is being put into this. That bottom picture looks so damn good compared to the top, man. It's insane. Now, the main reason I want to cover this and kind of talk about it, more so than just bitching about Square Enix not doing this themselves, having to rely on the community to do it, is the fact that you can download this and play it now. Or at least as of like 6 months ago, whenever this forum post first came out, there's a beta essentially for this. You got to download an emulator, obviously the PPSSPP, which I have on like an older phone of mine when I used to like emulate games, like older PlayStation 1 RPGs and stuff like that. I've downloaded that emulator before. It is fantastic. But yeah, you can download this and play it for absolutely free. Now, I haven't read through the entire forum post. Again, it's like 10 pages. It spans over the last like 6 months or so. But they're still updating this forum post, at least as of a couple days ago. Like, the last post that's on here is from the 21st of December. So as of right now, they're still updating this game, and they're taking feedback from people, so if you were to download it and play it, and you have a suggestion, they might take it into account and update the game accordingly. I mostly just wanted to cover this, talk about it, get my thoughts, and also, of course, shed some more light on it, because I don't know how well known it is. Like, this is the first time I've personally heard of it because of a PC Gamer article, despite this being out there for quite a while now. Sort of shed as much light as I could myself on this, but also I love seeing this stuff, man, because Square Enix refuses to remaster Crisis Core. You know, nobody wants that, right? Nobody wants a Crisis Core remaster, so people within the community said, you know what, fuck it, we'll do it ourselves. But also the fact that you can download it and play it for free right now. Like, you can go down into the description of this video, I'll have it linked to the forum post, and you can download it and play the game right now. And if you need some more incentive to check this out, they have a goal on the forum itself that whenever it reaches 30 pages, they're going to like add in or mod in like a shirtless Zack. So there's that. And if you do happen to check this out, they do have step-by-step directions on how to download everything and install shit. By the way, my dudes, that is the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you guys only want to see more Final Fantasy 7 Crisis Core, Remake content. Who knows what we're doing. Turn on my notifications. Follow me on Twitter at dashingdavidyt. At my Discord. Links to my social networks are in the description. And in the outro. Later, guys.
Used to care what people thought, but now I care more, and nobody out here's got it figured out. So therefore, I've lost all hope of a happy ending, depending on whether or not it's worth it. So insecure, no one's perfect. We spend it with no shame. We blow that like Coltrane. We in here like Logain, or leave it like Cobain.